Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I hope you are all doing well. I myself am a little bit frazzled at the moment. I could say I'm good, but the truth is I am not, and I feel like maybe lately the Hermitcraft series has kind of been affected because I have been extremely busy. Now I am not going to go into details. I'm sure many of you are many of you are aware that I have a server, and I wasn't aware of how much work could go into a server, and so lately I've just been incredibly busy with the server and things to do with it, which I'm not going to go into the details about, but I have found myself being a little bit stressed out, more so than usual with things going on, and I'm starting to feel like maybe this is affecting the Hermitcraft series, which is obviously something I don't want it to do. So I want you all to let me know. Leave a comment down below if you feel like the last few episodes have been a little bit different, if something's been off. I certainly feel like I haven't been enjoying the time in between episodes. Now, I always enjoy recording a video for you guys, I know you know that, and that's never going to change. But what's important is what I do in between episodes, and lately I haven't really been doing much. Everything I've been doing has kind of been on camera, and for that reason I feel like we're kind of lagging behind where we should be a little bit. So I got some time to come over here and just build, and when I say build I actually mean just terraform the wastelands. So we have a little bit of progress over here. It's not a lot, and it didn't take a lot of time to do either, but the fact that I did this reminded me of how important this is in between the episodes to make a little bit of progress, because when you're out here just doing something a little more, let's say, mindless in between doing building and stuff like that, it gives you inspiration, it gives you ideas, it gives you time to think and kind of reset yourself, and I've certainly missed that, and it would appear that I have also missed some sandstone. So anyway, what I want to do this episode is kind of get back on track with that progress that we make between episodes, try and get back into the swing, because like I said, it feels like things have been a little bit different lately, and I can't really put my finger on, or thumb on what it is, but as I said, I guess it'd be like the in-between episode stuff hasn't been the same, and this stuff really does contribute to the overall goal of what we're doing here. So anyway, you can see that I've done a little bit down the side there. We've gone all the way to the back. As far as you can see, like across here, it's just one big strip going to the back. So I'll be doing more of that in between episodes. I'm going to make sure that I devote some time to doing this because it's important for the big project, for the long run project here of the wastelands. But this episode, what we'll be doing is making some progress with this over here. And I don't have any ender pearls. The whole time I was doing this I didn't have ender pearls. Every single time I went back I forgot to pick some up, which is a little bit silly. So what I want to do is I actually want to dismantle this. I want to make that a time lapse because recording those are fun, and often with time lapses we do building on camera and we show something going up, so I thought it'd be fun to show something going down. Obviously I've already removed the top area here, but there are still a few things that we have to do inside here, so let's go down and find out what they are. We've got to move the mushrooms, that's not going to be a problem, and then we have to move the villagers. Now these things right here are priceless. We cannot let these guys be killed in any way whatsoever, so moving these is probably going to give me a headache. It's probably going to make me panic a little bit because I'm going to be on edge if these guys get hurt at all, but we need to move them over to the other side, and they need to have a secure location over here. So whenever we move them over here, all of these zombies are going to start going into this area on the side. So that is something that we need to do, and this is where I feel like lately I've been lacking a little bit. We could get more things done in an episode, so I think that's exactly what we should do. We should get the trenches done around the outside, which will take a little bit of time, and then on the inside here we will be able to go down and pick up those items, and I think eventually we'll probably put some sort of water system back here where when the items come into the trap, which is actually going to be under here, I'll probably put glass on the top so we can see the zombies going in, and the water would then, or the dispenser would fire the items into water. We'd have a little stream that take them around the edges, so it goes around all of them, and then they go to a single collection point, which we could then move with some hoppers and some dispensers and all of that redstone magic. We could move up the top here. And speaking of redstone, we haven't done anything too technical in a while, and I feel like we need to get back on track with doing a project like that. I really do, because we've been focusing on building and stuff like that so much lately, and I do enjoy my redstone. So moving those villagers will be one thing. We also have the villager trading system here, and I'm considering, do I want to keep this or not? Because if we are to keep it, it's going to leave a little bit of a mark in the area because this is not fully underground. So that is one thing that maybe we won't do. I haven't really made up my mind at the moment. And we also have a villager breeder down here, which is going to break in 1.8. We will probably be moving to 1.8 quite soon. And let's turn down the volume. That's hideous. All of that noise right there. I think my plan for this is to take all of the villagers that we have there and just keep them in a big room. So we're going to take them out of this and just have, let's say, 100 of them left over. We'll keep them locked down in this area, which probably isn't the best of ideas because zombies will track them and get caught in the caves. But the idea there being that we have some original villagers left over, and then if ever in the future I'm like, do you know what, I'd really like one of those villagers for 1.7 that does this or that, then we can go and see if we have one left over, which I think is a pretty cool idea. So I think the fate of our villager trader is just that it's going to be dismantled, which is unfortunate, but then in the next snapshot these villagers are going to be so much easier to trade with, and we've basically gotten everything that we need from the villagers right here. These two guys do everything that's really important, which is getting the diamond gear and having a paper trade as well, although in 1.8 we'll be able to trade iron with this guy over and over again, and that is going to be an amazing trade, isn't it? You're shaking your head. I don't agree. I think that's going to be a pretty good trade, mate. Ah, these villagers. This game, it is awesome and derpy and all kinds of things. So, there are a few other things I've done in between episodes, but I can't really think of them. The main thing was that I made progress out there in the wastelands, and the plan is this episode for us to dismantle this, to create the trap around the outside here, and then we're going to focus on the ender pearl elevator and getting the portal built up in the sky and all of that good stuff. I really do want to kind of jump ahead to that point, which is what I've been aiming for, but it's been real busy and difficult, you know, moving all of these items around from chest to chest, and also with so much going on with my server. But we're going to do it this episode. We're going to make a ton of progress, and we have to start off with the trap down below. So I think the best thing for me to do is to crack on, build that trap, and then I'll show you it when it's complete. So the trenches are now in place, and I don't think I've actually shown you what's gone on in here, because when we were last recording I think I moved some of the materials over and then I just forgot to mention it. So everything has been moved over. Here are all of the chests. We have sand on this side over here all the way down to there. Then this bit is sandstone, this bit is dirt, and this bit is cobblestone. So we are really filling up this area. We've got some room for more chests, but it's worked out pretty good. And there is a gap up top where I was planning on putting chests for this kind of stuff over the back there, and I'm thinking that maybe we'll do something different on that side. Maybe that's where we could put the villagers. We have a few chests, we have maybe some brewing stands, so we can do something different with that over there. That would be nice. Maybe we could have something a little more automated. But yeah, there's this space here to do something with. So anyway, let's pop down and have a look at the traps. This now means, with these in place, that we can actually put the villagers inside of this area. So where that's going to be, if it's just over here like I mentioned, I'm not sure, but I will be figuring that out soon. So let's go down here and have a look. It's pretty much the same thing we did before, so let's go and have a look at the old one. Now these streams were too wide, by the way, and then they went into a 3 wide trap which was down there. And like I said, it's pretty much the same thing. So let's go over to this side. Now one thing to point out, there is stone everywhere under the water on the sides. I've gone, you know, very neat with it and just replaced all of that stuff with smooth stone. And it would appear that I managed to place a block there and forgot to remove it. I'll sort that out in a moment because we want to go down there and have a look at this trap, so we'll do it now actually. Anyway, so you come in like this, you're a zombie, you've fallen into the water, it's going to push you in. And then we've got the fence posts or gates here, and they should all be the same. Yeah, that's right, it's the way you open it from will determine what way it faces. So now they're all the same, and the zombie's going to be pushed in here. Then it's going to swim up, it's going to hit the glass at the top, it's going to drown, its items will fall into the hoppers, and they will then go into a chest. So one of the things I talked about earlier, I'm not going to do this episode, is to automate that. That's something we could do in the future, and we could have the items go into some sort of system where the water then puts them all together. That made no sense, did it? I think automate wasn't the correct word to use, but you know what I mean. We're going to group it up so all of those get automatically put into a chest, maybe up the top here or something like that, and then we don't have to go and manually collect them. So when we do manually collect them, we just walk around like this. You can see that's the top of the trap. We can go down to the chest at the bottom, and then we can collect our items. There's none in that one. That's the second to last one I built. This one over here is the first one that I done, and I checked it a moment ago. There were 3 pieces of rotted flesh, and there still is 3, so might as well take that. So you can see that it works, and it's going to work a lot better once the villagers are in the inside here. So having given myself some time to think about where we're going to put these villagers, we are just going to put them in this space over here. It's kind of perfect for them. That might not be a permanent location, but I think having them in this room for now is a good idea. Now I had some irrational fears of putting them up here, of social zombies being able to spawn inside this room and getting to the villagers, but the thing is, that's always going to be a problem. It was even a problem in that temple over there. So I was thinking about this. They could spawn in here because they can, spawn in any light level, or they could spawn on the roof as well. And if they were to do that, maybe they would walk up to the edge, they'd look down and drop into the room. But that made me realise that these zombies are going to look over the edge and look directly down, and all they're going to see is these air blocks going all the way down there. So that would be too far of a distance, I assume, for them to justify trying to get down. But then I noticed that these blocks on the sides here, they've not been filled up above, so maybe the zombies would look up there and then drop down onto here, which isn't something we're going to worry about too much, but we should definitely change this up the top so it lines up with what's down below. So if we put 4 blocks on either side, then these 6 blocks will line up with the ones down there, and the same thing on this side, which is good. Now I think the main fear we need to have here with the villages is actually getting them over here, because that's when we're going to have to put them in a minecart and move them, and that's when a zombie could get to them, because at the moment the way they're contained, which is the way they're going to be contained over on the other side like this, they are going to be safe. Even if you have 100 zombies right here, they could crowd around the villagers, and because of the daylight sensors and the blocks around them, they're not going to be able to hurt them. So it'd have to be something really crazy, like a social zombie deciding to spawn right inside there where the villager is standing, and I'm not sure if they can do that. If they can, that is absolutely awful because there's no way of protecting villagers then. But moving them over is going to be the risky thing, so I'm going to prepare myself. I'm going to make sure we do this in the day as well. We're going to have a track laid out to bring them over here and try and safely put them into a little holding area. So we are now ready to move the villagers. I've gone extra paranoid on this. We have the wall at the front, and on the other side of this is where the villagers are going to go. So this is directly in the middle right here. I also spent a little bit of time rearranging the blocks, trying different things, and this is the one that I like the most. Now one of the problems I encountered was that when you put a block at the back here, it means the light level was too low down the front. So my solution to that was to put the lamps at the front as well. So those ones at the back are going to be covered up. Now my first instinct was to use iron. So if we fill this up with iron, it matches the glass, and I think it looks pretty clean and pretty good. There we go, so nothing too fancy, but then I was thinking, why don't we put emerald blocks back here, because they kind of suit the villagers, and for that reason I just wanted to show you the iron, because we're actually going to be going with the emeralds, since they kind of make more logic. They make more logic, brilliant. Today we learned that emeralds make logic. So there you go. It doesn't look quite as good with the white in front, so I might change that out for green, although I've got a feeling it's not going to look as great, but we will try that after we get the villagers secured in there, because once we put a block at the bottom, which I think is also going to be glass, and we put that daylight sensor on top, then we can change these blocks over, so it will all be good. But now it's time to bring the villagers over here. We have a little bit of daytime left. I think I want to play it safe and give myself as much time as possible. So I think I'm going to kill those zombies down there, and we'll let the sun we'll let the sun go down. Oh dear. So one thing that you may have noticed on my hotbar was that I had some of these potions there. As I said, we're going extra paranoid. I've also got some regeneration potions. These are for the villagers when we're transferring them across, just in case they get attacked and something crazy happens. Also, let's block that up behind us. You can see I really do care about these villagers because they are basically priceless. We're going to be updating to 1.8 soon, so it's going to be very difficult to replace them if something goes wrong, and I would actually like to just add a couple of extra blocks there, so all of that's blocked off, and then we're going to move these guys. So it's the moment of truth. I think the best way to do this, and actually what I wanted to do first was make sure they were fully healed, but then the regeneration will take care of that. So we also want to keep one of those on our hotbar, and we want the rails down there. There we go. And my voice is a little bit croaky, as you can hear. Okay, right. So if I nudge it that way, he's going to possibly get in it. But then he's not going to come back out, is he? But now we can go back here, so that will be okay. And we're going to nudge you forward. And I'm derping around, that's not good. Wait. We want you to stop just there. In fact, we're going to break the... I'm not doing a very good job of this, am I? And now he's going back. Brilliant. Okay, come back. There we go. All the way onto the other side. Ah. Okay, right, that's one taken care of. So the next guy, let's put down that cart. And we're going to nudge it forward. No, he's okay, he's in there. So now we're going to go around the back and nudge him out. And now you can both have a splash potion as well. Let's go and make sure we hit both of them. Yes, we got them. Excellent. Okay, so now we just got to nudge this guy onto the track and the other guy onto the track. Please go onto the track. There we go. No, this guy's being strange. I've got a feeling the servers are a little bit laggy at the moment. There we go. Okay, right, let's stay close to these guys while they go up this little bit. Let's keep a health potion at hand. There we go. Ah, it's just going to be fine, really, isn't it? These guys are safe. Let's go around the corner. And we have them in our new area. Alright, it's all good, it's all good. So, let's block this off with some sandstone blocks. And then just get these guys into place. Nope, that's the wrong one. Okay, that's it. They're safely in. So we place these two blocks at this height so they can't get out. Then we break the minecart and the other minecart. And I don't know if we can pick them up. They are... I do not like it when they do that. Let's relog. And there we go. Excellent. So then we place these blocks in front of them. Then none of the little zombies can get in there. And that doesn't quite look as nice with the glass at the top. Sorry, at the bottom as it does at the top. But there you go. We successfully moved them over. Oh, there's a little villager runaround going on over here. Oh, he's dead. Now you're running away. Don't run into him. That was a lot of fun to record. I really enjoyed making that time lapse. That was really cool, and I never really thought about it. This was always a temporary base, but I never pictured tearing it all apart, and we're almost done. There's still a few more things to be done, but tearing apart that villager trading was interesting. We have got a lot of resources back from that, which is cool because we were probably never going to use that again. Although maybe with the new villager systems, you know, we'll want to trade again. But the thing is, the way they breed has changed, so that thing was pretty much redundant, I think. Could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. I don't mind tearing something apart and doing something again in the future. And while I was standing out here, I just kind of looked around and noticed these floating leftover iron blocks, and they kind of look like floating glyphs or something like that. It's real strange. I imagine it would look quite alien if you had a pattern of them, you know, arranged around the centre of the wastelands. But we have a little bit more work here to do. We have to kind of tidy this up. There is still this down here, which still works, and I think I've taken all of the bone meal out of it. Oh, and then we have this hole to kind of fill up. There's some iron down there, which I'm probably just going to leave buried. All of this will just be buried over as well, and I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting, but there you go. I'll figure it out. I'll cover up all of these trenches and just turn this into wastelands. Again, if you're curious as to what we got from that, these are all the leftovers, you know, all the redstone and things like that from taking it apart. And another thing that we will be doing, I was going to add it to the time lapse, but then I realised that this sugarcane over here is actually really, really big. I was planning on taking that apart as well. So another thing that we'll do is tidy up the wastelands around the edges here, and then finish off this little bit leading up to the sugarcane farm. And I imagine in a few episodes in the future what we'll be doing is tearing this thing apart as well, because we don't really need it anymore. When we move to 1.8 we're going to be using the iron trade from the villagers, and there is that roaming pig, the one that actually roams and doesn't die, and it looks like some endermen have been causing damage over here as well, which isn't good. But we've got all of that to tidy up. So I'm scratching my head about something else I was supposed to mention, and I've remembered it. The time-lapse. I recorded that a little bit different from how I normally do it. Biffa told me the other day that you can actually Alt and Tab out of Minecraft, which I'm going to do now. So you should see the cursor moving around. That's because I'm looking at something different, and then I can come back. That may have just made the whole thing whiz around like that. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But yes, you can Alt and Tab if you press F3 and P, and then it leaves your Minecraft looking like this. So what I did is I recorded that whole time lapse on the same computer, and normally I use two computers to do that. One of the things that I forgot to do was turn off the particle effects, which is by default on the other computer, because you can see, as Kratos would say, the little fart bubbles from the beacon effects, and I'm really pleased that they are actually more transparent, and I think the regular potions should be like that as well, because they do really kind of obstruct your vision, and in a time lapse you can kind of see it blurring over the top. But there we go. It was an enjoyable time lapse to do. I hope you did enjoy it, and I'm going to tidy up all of this. And there it is. It now looks like a regular part of the wastelands. I think I did a pretty good job here. Sometimes when you move around you can kind of see the odd lines from where things used to be and stuff like that, but overall I think I did pretty good. Now one thing that happened over here was a creeper blew up underneath this bit when I was sorting out all the blocks, the sandstone and all those different things underneath there, just tidying it up so it looked like wastelands. So now this thing is floating, and then all the way over in that direction, somewhere over here. Wow, navigating this is just awful on camera. But yeah, this little area over here has been done all the way up to the sugarcane farm, so sometime in the future we're going to be removing that. But all of the wastelands has been restored around this area, which I'm really pleased with. It means that our desert temple is now at last isolated in the wastelands, and well, with the exception of this and that, I guess it's the only feature here, and the gold farm and the floating iron blocks. There's actually a few other things I need to clean up around here, isn't there? But the next thing that we're going to be doing, because I wanted to do a lot of things this episode, and that is just a temporary smelting thing because I needed lots of smooth stone. We are going to be doing the next part of the ender pearl elevator. So the first thing I have to do is actually figure out if this is at the right height, and I can kind of demonstrate this to you if we go all the way down the bottom. So one of the things I think I might want to do is just lower that one down by 1 or 2 blocks, because when we throw this up it's pretty much at the maximum range of the ender pearl, so it takes a little bit longer. And so this one is closer. When we throw that, we get up there a fair bit quicker. So if we're going to move the one down below, then it means this one's further away, so we might not get to move this one up by one block, but that's what we could potentially do. So this might change in the middle here, but I have to figure out all of that stuff. I've already taken some notes. I just need to figure out if we're going to move this up by one block, and because we're only going to be doing, one, possibly two, but I very much doubt it, then it means it's not really going to affect the one up in the sky too much. So we're going to have one up there, which I need to figure out where it's going to go, and then we're going to have yet another one above there, and that's where our nether portal is going to be. And I've kind of been thinking about maybe having a nether portal system where we can turn the one off in the sky, because I can see that being a little bit of a pain when you want to do things quickly, having to go up there. So it will be like a nether portal for guests that we turn on and off, and then we have our regular one down here in the temple. I don't know, I'll figure it all out. So this room could have looked a lot different. It turns out we could have moved this up by up to 2 blocks, which would have made it level with the ground here. And then we could have also moved it up 1 block, but I decided in the end just to keep it the same. And of course the reason we'd be moving it up is so what's up there in the sky is further away. I've also replaced the drop down with sandstone all the way around, which I think looks alright. And I was thinking maybe we should add some sort of pattern to it. But if we drop down here, it kind of transitions, and I should have held down shift. It kind of transitions a little bit chaotically, and if you have a look up there, I've kind of tidied up the way it meets the sandstone, which I think looks pretty good. So let's throw one of these to get back up, and the idea is that the one on the other side is for jumping just straight down from the very top. So we'll probably put in some of those slime blocks in 1.8 down there, which if you hold down spacebar when you land on, it stops you from taking damage, and you just stay where you are, so you won't go all the way flying back up into the air. So this is what it looks like here. And then if we throw another one, you can see that there's something up here in the sky, and that seems a little bit close. I might have to double check that. I think I made this a little bit too close. But this is the platform that's going to be below the first one, which will have the nether portal, which I haven't got around to even designing yet, but this is what I came up with, and I think it looks alright. It kind of looks good underneath as well, and it's all well and truly lit up. We've got the glowstone on the outside and the lamps there. But what I want to add to this is some wings that go out the side that's made of stained glass, which I think look really cool, but I don't know if they're really going to fit in here, and they're definitely not going to match the desert temple that we have down below. So that's what it looks like from down here, and then when we add those wings I think it will look a little bit better, but it's certainly going to be odd, and I'm pretty much expecting divided opinions on what this is going to look like. So at the moment it kind of looks a little bit strange, this quartz thing floating there in the sky. When we add the wings it will definitely look a little better because it's got wings and it's floating. If that even really makes sense. Yeah, I think we should just add it and then see what it looks like. Do you know what? I think this looks really cool. I really like that. That looks awesome. In fact, I want it to be bigger in some respects. It looks real nice, and I think my inspiration for this came from Zombie Cleo's towers that we have over at Hermit Town 1.7. It's the same bunch of of coloured glass right there, and it looks ever so cool. And as always, I'm trying to walk around in the wastelands, move over there, have a look from over here, and it's just falling into hole. It must be really awful to watch. It's pretty awful to navigate as well. But it is a wasteland, of course. So yeah, that looks really cool, and I guess wherever we go from down here it's going to look kind of similar because we are down below. So the only other place to see it would be from up above, and the only thing that's going to be above that is the next portal that's going to go up there. But I really like that, and one of the things that I tried as well in creative mode was changing the colours around. I thought that since this is yellow down below, that maybe we would try red where the blue is, orange where the cyan is, and the light blue I replaced with yellow. And it looked ugly. It didn't match the quartz in the middle, so it matches up with the quartz. It may be a different theme of colours from what's down below. It's got a kind of cold look about it, but it works. I like it, and let's get out of the wastelands because this is just awful. And let's see if we can throw that ender pearl right up there into the ender pearl elevator. Nope, fail. But there you go. So one last look from up here. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I like it. So out of the corner of my eye I spotted the temporary gold farm, and I gotta say, what a view we have from up here of the place. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I very much like it, and that thing looks really cool from over here as well. So do our beacon beams, and I apologise for not doing more of those. I've been busy lately, as I explained earlier. But I guess the other ones, if we just have a look from up here, would go probably around there, and then over there, and there'd be quite a remarkable grid of them, especially with a view like this, but that certainly looks cool. Yeah, that looks awesome. What is going on out here? We have a little group of zombies gathered on the edge. I think it's because the water is too far down for them to decide to try and walk over the edge. But what's cool is you can just walk over here and nudge them in anyway. And I think my game sound is actually all the way down at the moment. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. I don't know when I decided to change that. Oh, that's right. I was over at the gold farm and I decided to do a little bit of AFKing when we were up there a moment ago. And I think I got 4 gold blocks in total for about 30 minutes of AFKing, which isn't that great. But when you think about it, you get nuggets. So 9 nuggets make an ingot, and then 9 of those make a, a gold block. So it does take a bit of time to get them. Anyway, let's go up the top and have a look. Now, I'd planned on doing a fair bit more with this, but the more I thought about it, the more I realised that this is all we need really, just another portal at this height here. Now there was a feature that I was going to do that was going to detect when players would come through this portal, and then it would activate something special, which I think I actually want to be activated differently. So I'm going to save that for another episode. But you're going to come through the portal at the top here, and I've checked it, it synchronises up to this one, and then you can open a trapdoor and drop all the way down to the bottom, which isn't a good idea until we have those slime blocks, or you can go down the ender pearl elevator, which is probably what I use all the time anyway, because then you can stop off at the middle here. And I think I almost just fell back down. But the portal that we have down here, it's not synchronized to the one in the nether, so you can go through this one to get to the one in the nether, I do believe, and then when we go through that one, it'll take us to the top. So any new person who's coming over, or even myself, will always go to the top first, which I think is pretty cool. So it's not going to take too long to get into the base. You come here to the portal, you have the really great view of the wastelands, and then you can just drop down below and hold down shift, and then you're in the base. So it doesn't take that long at all really. Now I was thinking about making this portal down here one of those one-use ones where you press a button as you go through, and then it turns on and it turns itself off when you've gone through to the other side, but it's pretty much doing the same thing when it's lit like this now, so there's no need to do that. And I think that's actually kind of wrapped up all the things that I wanted to do this episode, so I'm going to have a little think about it, see if there's anything I've forgotten about, but I think we have done everything we set out to do. So I'm going around and checking this out from different places, and I gotta say, it looks cool, but it looks kind of odd as well. And then the thought just popped into my head that it might look better if there were more of them on top. Now I did think about that before, but my thinking was that it wouldn't be that great because you wouldn't want to drop down from really high up. But then I guess you could just see it like you can choose to go upwards from where you come in at the portal, and then you can get a better view of the place, which I think is a really cool idea. I don't know, maybe we'll add more of those. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. But I'm going to continue going around the wastelands. Walking around this is just such a pain. But I'm going to look at it from a few other angles and see what I think. So it does look pretty cool from over here as well. I was kind of worried about how big the portal would be and how much you could see it, but it doesn't make the biggest of differences, so I'm not too bothered by that. And I think having a few more up here would actually look really spectacular. Maybe going as high as you can go, but that is something that we'll think about another day. And I found a whole bunch of chests over here. After organising pretty much everything, I think we just have a few other materials in chests, maybe some in the nether and some at Old Hermit Town. Not much left to bring over there. And then I've discovered this. So we have tons of sand, sandstone, cobblestone. There's even loads of smooth stone over here as well, and also a whole bunch of random items. And so I got to do a little bit more transporting of goods, but I don't mind. I'm going to do that now, and I'm probably not going to move all of this. I decided I would leave the smooth stone over here because that's going to be very useful when turning this bit here into the wastelands, but I guess the rest of it is going to have to go back over time, so I'll probably start work on that right now. But that is it for this episode. If you have enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you next time.